So first of all, we need to create a new study. There is a study type called interactive mockup, and that allows us running research on either mockup built in the real eye or mockup built on third-party tool. At this moment, we support Figma import. I'll show it to you in a moment. So first of all, we need to prepare the study by defining which devices we would like our panelists to join the research. So let's say that this is going to be only for desktops and tablets. And the maximum study time will be, let's say, 2 minutes. Then we have some options, some additional options specific to mockup testing. Highlight mockup's hotspots after a click. I'm going to turn this on, and few other. Pretty important is this one, enable an external tool integration. This allows controlling what happens after the eye tracking part. So as we already know, the eye tracking is very often a part of a longer research. So if you'd like to fast forward panelists after the eye tracking part to some third-party tool like external survey or panel provider finish URL, then this is the link to place. This is the place to paste the link to any external tool. I'll leave the rest of options as they are, default, and then I'll write an optional intro message. So my mockup is all about booking a meeting with one of the real eye team members. So we want to see whether people are noticing this CTAs, which pop-up they're using, and also how do they react on pop-ups that are being displayed automatically at the very beginning. So the optional intro message will be book a meeting with a real eye team member. And optional message after the tests. I'm just going to leave it blank, leave it default. So now I have on the second step, I have an option to choose the content that is going to be used for building the mockup. So I can upload images, videos, or just provide a link to Figma mockup. I'm going to upload several images as my mockup is based on is images based. Okay. Let me just give it a moment. This is it. So I do have three images: landing page, pop-up page, and the booking page. And I'm uploading them as a regular images. So now on the second step, I can choose how the study behaves from the very beginning. So the timeline is where the study starts. So it starts from the top. And actually, I want my panelists to see the first one, the landing page, which is this design exported from Figma. I think so. But to be honest, I just want them to see this image, this landing page for 1 second. And then I would like to redirect them to the second image, which is a pop-up with our advertisement. And this is the one. So we're testing this pop-up with asking people to follow us on social media. So I'm going to drag this element as the second one. And then as a third element, there's going to be again the landing page. So if no one clicks anything, then that would be the desired flow. Homepage, and then after time trigger, which is going to be 1 second, people will be navigated to this pop-up. Now, this pop-up doesn't have any time trigger. So if no one will click anywhere, then the study will end after 120 seconds, just as defined in the first step. Therefore, I would rather like my panelists to click one of the buttons. So what can we do here? We can edit hotspots. Hotspots are elements that are, so let's say, actionable. They have some additional actions that can happen after clicking. So we're going to have two active elements here. The first one is going to be X cross, and here we can define what happens after clicking this particular area. So we want our panelists to go to landingpage.jpg, and after clicking the OK button, actually I want to have the very same action, landing page.jpg. As you probably spotted, there are two landing pages, so I'm just going to rename the first one Elpa beginning. Too many ends. That's fine. And this is going to be landing page long. So again, go back to editing hotspots here just to make sure that that's right. This is redirecting people to LP long, and this one as well. So this image is already mocked. Now we can go to the third one, to the third image, the LP long. It won't have any time trigger. It is going to be scrollable, so it's time to set hotspots. It is going to have several hotspots as well. So for sure, the book now is a hotspot that is going to redirect us to booking.jpg, and another one. All these dates within the calendar are also going to redirect us to booking.jpg. Let me think if there are any other elements. So perhaps start now could be also active and is going to finish the test. It's not a desired action. Therefore, I want the panelists to finish the study in case someone clicks that. And on the fourth page, which is a pop-up with the calendar, I'll just have two spots. The first one is going to be the finish test action. So basically, whenever someone clicks these dates, the test is done, and the logo type will redirect my panelists back to the landing page if they want to kind of like go back to the original. Actually, I can also create like a trick here. So if someone clicks anywhere around this pop-up, I can just redirect them back to the landing page long. So very often people are clicking like a background around the pop-up. So let's allow them to do it in this way. Okay, change is saved. So basically the mockup study is done. I have also one additional thing that I can attach to this study, and I'm referring to a follow-up survey. So this allows displaying some bunch of the questions after the experience is finished. So the first one is going to be how difficult was the booking process? And this is going to be 1 to 5 rating scale with required answer. And another one with the choice question, have you found the booking action on the landing page? That's pretty obvious, but let's say that's just just an example of how this can look like. It's going to be required and randomized. And let's say the third one is going to be again a choice question. So will you subscribe to Real Eye Social Media? To see whether the first pop-up convinced anyone to subscribe. And again, randomize the answers. In this case, the answer won't be obligatory. So the study is ready. So what we can do right now is we can either run the preview, share the preview link with our collaborators or panel provider or anyone. I feel pretty confident that the study is well done. So I'll just select the panelists, the maximum amount of panelists that I would like to invite to the study, and run the study accordingly. So what do we have here on the third step is the study dashboard. So here we can see basically all the content that is within the study, but probably the most important thing is the participation link. Since there are no results right over here, we can just use the participation link to share with our panel provider or with our panelists. So let me transform myself into a panelist for a moment. Let's just imagine that I received this link from a panel provider, I know some internal group or anything like that, and I qualify as one of the panelists. So after going through the instructions, I'm redirected to a so-called calibration. Let me just change the camera. Okay. And the calibration is all about me following 40 dots on the screen. So the calibration is happening on 3 different backgrounds, gray, like light gray and white. And this is because since the system right now is learning how my face and my eyes look like while I'm looking at different regions of the screen, the monitor itself is a pretty intense source of light. So the system needs to learn how my face looks in different lighting conditions. So after this part, there'll be part called calibration check, calibration validation, and I'll be asked to destroy 3 dots, using just my eyes, just like that. So my mouse is here, I'm destroying these dots. So since I was capable of doing that, I can move forward to the study. Oh, the pop-up is here, so I'm clicking OK. Free trial license to make a case study, so I can click book now. I'm not ready yet to do the booking since I want to read the content. Okay. How difficult was the booking process? So it was not difficult, so I'm going to choose 1 star. Have you found the booking action on the landing page? Yes, for sure. Will you subscribe? Yes. The test is done. So this is a survey that can be disabled in the study settings, but if enabled, that gives us an additional layer toward running the data analysis on the aggregated level. So once every panelist finishes his or her job, the results will be here on the dashboard, just as they are visible here on the list. So let's see how it goes. So first of all, we can see the test flow. So we can see how people were navigating through the page by just seeing icons of all the pages, also survey answers of these particular individuals. Therefore, we can dive deeper and go to the actual recording. So the recording is going to show us the gaze, which is the places where I was looking at when the panelists were looking at, but also mouse movements and mouse clicks. So we can actually replay the entire session from, let's say, panelist's point of view to see how he or she was interacting with the page, which buttons were pressed, and so on, and whether the actual action was created at the very end. Also, in addition, we have this option here to see additional metric called attention distribution, meaning we can see if someone was paying positive or negative attention while interacting within this specific period of time. So the attention is being calculated or 2 types of eye movements. We can distinguish fixations and saccadic eye jumps, which are represented basically by these lines or dots. The dots are fixations, meanwhile the lines are saccadic eye jumps. It's been proven that lots of long fixations being followed by short saccadic eye jumps means that the attention is rather positive. It's also called focal attention. Meanwhile, if there is a lot of saccadic eye jumps followed by short fixations, just like for instance here, it means that the attention is rather ambient. Meanwhile, the eyes are still browsing for the next thing to attach the attention to. Therefore, someone is not paying attention to what is actually behind the gaze. This is pretty cool tool to analyze it on the individual level, but it can be also pretty interesting when it comes to aggregated data analysis. So to show you how it looks from the, let's say, aggregated level, I'm going to jump to a very similar study that I was running on one of the webinars some time ago, and we had the very same items. Actually, there was an A/B test of 2 different pop-ups and the landing page itself. So I'm going to open the landing page to show you how it looks from the aggregated perspective, aggregated level. So first of all, we can see how the heat map, so how the attention was distributed in time, how people were interacting with this content in time. So I'm moving this time slider. We have here also the average viewing time. It means that after an average 10.4 seconds, an action was taken, action by clicking the booking button. And then we can create areas of interest to see actually what was the attention distribution. So for instance, the book now button, let's just visualize clicks as well. The click button was in average noticed after 4.67 seconds and in average clicked after 8 seconds. So as one of the insights is that people in average needed 4 seconds after noticing this button to click it. So it's probably not the very first action they were taking. Also pretty interesting finding is that not many people were paying attention to this image right over here. Half of them noticed that, and only half of the second was half of the second was it was the average viewing time of this. Also, the attention is negative here, so people were just browsing with the eyes. They were not really into the image. Probably that's a good sign to either change it or leave it as is, because perhaps it is not it is not disturbing people's attention. Here, for a similar reason, we can create another arrow of interest to see metrics here. So for instance, time to first notice is 6 seconds, 11 clicks, but therefore the average time to first click is much faster, is 7:25. It means that between noticing and clicking, there's just 1 second and like 200 milliseconds in average. So people are definitely more happy to click this area than this one. Probably it's just like with my case, they need to discover what's the offer about. So it is probably, but also at the other hand, there were also many clicks here. So there were 11, here were 13. So probably it feels like it's a good idea to have two CTAs for the same action at this particular page. Things like this, findings like this, you can imagine that there can be a lots of different findings like this. Areas of interest can be saved for further research, booking top. For further data analysis, the data can be exported to run some other tests. Also, you can see how the mockup, the pop-up attention was shaping in time. I'll just remove a little bit the density of the heat map. I'm not changing the data. I'm just playing with the density to visualize more. So for instance, here, let's say that we want to compare these two pop-ups to see how the attention was distributed. I'm also going to lower the opacity here a little bit. And let's say we want to see whether people were clicking faster to one of these buttons at this pop-up or at this one. So which one was reading, let's say, with more attention. Here, the average time to first click was, let's say, 4 seconds. Meanwhile, within this pop-up, it was 3.8 seconds. So they were killing, let's say, this pop-up faster. Also, pretty important finding is that this image was gathering probably more attention, as average time spent was 0.82 than this one. So probably it would be a good idea to think how whether it's a good idea to put a person here, because people on images are usually apparently stealing some attention from the actual text. You can also see it on the heat map that most of the attention was here on the text. Therefore, here it was distributed between these two parts, with also the negative attention on the image here. Okay, one last thing. Was supposed to be a bit shorter video, but I think the topic of testing mockups is really interesting. Just one last thing. Let me just create one more study very quickly. I wanted to show you is the option to import mockups from directly from Figma tool. So let's say that this is our mockup. This is a Figma, and we have some elements that are right over here as a part of the mockups. So what we can do is we can actually take the link from Figma and place it directly to Real Eye. So what will happen next is probably already, I can imagine, Real Eye is going to take all the images from Figma, import all the connections and all the images. So you will be able to customize the connections, the hotspots, but and everything else will stay as on the Figma page. So you will be able to just run just start the study, and all the hotspots are here, as you can see. You will be able to just run the study and start collecting the data. So summarizing, testing mockups is really great idea for running not only qualitative type of studies to test how people are navigating and whether they were getting lost, but also you can use it for quantitative type of research. And this is pretty interesting because usually there is this division between running qual or quant. And this time, since everything is happening online, you can merge these two and get the insights based on one single study by sending one link just to more people and get both at the same time. Okay, that's it. Thanks. If you are interested about running your mockup studies, just go to reali.io and register to get your free trial to see whether the tool fits your needs. Hey, have a good day.